want to take your calls, but I want to continue first with Bill O'Reilly. He has an exceedingly important research that he's done. By the way, I know you're fact-based because I just, not just, but about 2 months ago, I read your book on the Indians. What is the name of it again?
Killing Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did really well. I appreciate you reading. I'm going to send you another one next week.
Okay, good.
Killing the Mob against the organized crime.
Oh, good. I actually bought it and listened, and it's a very, I have to say, it's a depressing book, which is, to me, that's not an insult. I mean,
no, but it's not boring, and you learn a lot.
No, that's the point. Exactly.
Yep.
It's not boring, and you learn a lot. You hit it on the nose. That's correct. Okay.
That's what we do here.
To give
tell you the truth.
Plug for your work.
Thank you.
You decided, after we hear from the Biden administration and the president himself, Joe Biden, this great rise in white supremacy, that it's now the new Al-Qaeda in the United States.
Yes.
So what did you find out?
Well, this is the biggest fraud in the world, and it's dangerous. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General nominee, spouted it again today, just about an hour ago. So this is the biggest terror threat to the United States, is white supremacy in these groups. So in 2 years, 10 federal prosecutions, 5 in 20, 5 in 19. All 50 states, total for 2 years, 8 prosecutions. Add them up, federal, state prosecutions of white supremacies, organizations breaking the law, 18. So what's going on? What's really going on here? And it's masking the collapse of law enforcement in the cities run by liberal leaders. So your city, Los Angeles, total collapse in Los Angeles County of law enforcement. San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Oregon. Chicago's the most dangerous city in the country. New York City's collapsed law enforcement-wise, so is Philadelphia. On and on and on and on, okay? So if you can divert attention away from that, away from the progressives not being able to protect people, into the white supremacists are going to come and get you, that's a win-win, because you demonize Caucasians, which the progressive left absolutely wants to do, and people won't be thinking about, if I go to certain neighborhoods in Chicago, I'm going to get a bullet in between the eyes. If I go on the New York subway, I'm going to get my throat slashed. So this is why they're doing it. This is what we produced. I wrote a column on BillO'Reilly.com for your listeners, Dennis, who want to read the entire column and why it's happening and what's happening. You can go there. It's free of charge. Just read it and weep.
That number,
it's staggering, isn't it?
Yes. Ask your staff. That's why I've invited you to the first hour of my show. I think this is so significant because of the gigantic lie it is. I said the January 6th riot was the Reichstag fire. That's what it is. It's huge.
Yeah, the diversion. But everybody has to acknowledge there are white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and they cause a lot of trouble because these groups not only hate blacks, Jews, and every other minority, but they traffic in narcotics, they extort, they're violent, and they're there. They exist. But they don't exist on the level where they're threatening individual people on a daily basis. Now, in Europe, it's different. In Europe, they have a much more intense white supremacist problem in Sweden and Germany and all of this because of the massive influx of Muslims into those countries. And that has disturbed their societal order. So there are neighborhoods that you can't even go to in Europe because they're run by very militant Muslims. And so there's an easy backlash against that. In the United States, we don't have that. And as far as the January 6th, there were some white supremacists in there. You saw the idiots with the Confederate flag and all that. There were some. But it wasn't a number that drove it. Most of these people were ultra-right political people who sincerely believed that the election was stolen, blah, 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 blah. It didn't have anything to do with race. That's not what was involved with that. And the FBI will bear that out. But the danger we have now is we have a president who doesn't know white supremacy from an ice cream cone. He just doesn't know anything. And you tell him something, and if it fits into the progressive vision that his advisors are foisting upon him, he's going to read it on the teleprompter. He's not going to analyze it. Do you think the Biden administration ran stats like I did? No, because they don't care. It's a political ploy. Frighten the populace. And you're right, that's exactly what the Nazis did in the Reichstag fire. Now, I got to be careful because I'm not comparing the Nazis
the tactic,
to what's happening now. I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
All right, because you know media matters and you know all these other propaganda outfits. That's what they do. I am not doing that. You have the tape. If I have to play it on my program, I will. But the diversionary tactic of frightening people about a non-existent situation, but again, I don't think the white supremacy stuff is non-existent. I just don't think it's at the level where the federal government.
Look, the issue is that they're depriving us of civil rights, of civil liberties, the greatest clampdown by the government ever, and corporations, by the way, in tandem, which is a defining element in fascism. And that is.
And I know you got to run, but the next time we talk, we'll tie all that in.
Okay.
So the big corporations, particularly the social media corporations, are acting in concert with the progressive movement. That's an enormous amount of power because they have the media in their pocket as well.
That's right. All right, it's BillO'Reilly.com, correct?
Yep.
All right.
And thanks for having me on, Dennis. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
Mutual. Thank you, sir. In 2 years, 9 prosecutions, federal and state levels, of white supremacists. That's the big threat to the country. Is that not a big lie?